Where did you grow up?
I grew up in a town called Westerly, Rhode Island.
Where did your parents grow up?
My parents grew up in a different country. They grew up in Italy, and then they came to America.
What was your childhood like?
Well, I had two sisters that were younger than me. I remember in the summer we spent a lot of time playing. We didn't go to camp or do anything. We had the whole summer to ourselves. We would ride bikes. We'd go swimming in the pool. The town where I lived was on the near the beach, so we would go to the beach a lot. So that's what I remember from growing up.
What was your home like?
My home? We lived in a brick house that had 4 bedrooms, and we had a lot of room in the backyard to play. We would play things like baseball, soccer, and like I said, we would ride bikes and stuff. So it was a very nice house.
Do you still have those things at your house?
We might still have those old bikes somewhere, and even the soccer balls and stuff. Actually, I think we have even our old baseball mitts. I think we have those there still.
What was your school like?
My school? Well, I went to a Catholic school until 5th grade. That was my elementary school. So Catholic school, like we had to wear a uniform, and we had to go to church a lot, and we had to learn all our prayers and stuff. Then I went to the public school starting in 6th grade, so that was like middle school. And then I went to the high school. So like the high school wasn't huge. I had maybe like 100, 120 or so kids in the total class, and then we were split up into like the different homerooms.
What were your hobbies?
What were my hobbies? Well, I loved reading. I played a little bit of sports, but I wasn't really that interested, and I wasn't that good. I did student council when I was in high school, and I loved that. I was vice president. We did stuff around the community. And I did something called academic decathlon, which it's a big word, but it means that we competed against other schools in on school subjects, science, math, whatever it was.
Tell me about your friends growing up.
My friends, one of my best friends growing up is actually someone who was an exchange student. That means she came from a different country, and she stayed in our class and with us for a year. Her name was Carla, and she lives in Brazil. And I think you know her, right? Because we're still very good friends. And she's come and she stayed at our house, and she's visited us, and I still talk to her on FaceTime. So she was one of my good friends, and I had other friends from high school and elementary school too.
Tell me about your relationship with your sisters growing up.
Well, I was the oldest, right? So that means that I was the one who usually like organized the games and told them what to do. And sometimes I know I could be a bit bossy, but usually we had fun and we played a lot of things together, and we would play a lot with our cousins and stuff when they would come over.
What were your parents like when you were growing up?
Well, my parents, like I said, they came from Italy, so they didn't speak too much English, and they couldn't write or read English that well. So that means I had to do a lot of stuff or help them out a lot, especially because I was the oldest one. So I had to do things like if they had to make like a doctor's appointment, I would or ask a question for with a doctor or something. I would be the one to call up and ask the question or make the appointment. So I would help them out with that. Or if they got something in the mail, they couldn't read it very well or couldn't understand it, that I would help them on that. And then they were very, very good with me also. Like my dad, right? Yes. Your granddad. He would always drive us around to like places like in the summertime. He would always like take us to fun places so we could do fun things. And then when I grew up, he would take me to visit a whole bunch of colleges so I could decide where to go to college. And then he would drive me there every semester and help me with my moving around every time back and forth to college. And then my mom, Nana, your grandma, right? You know what she does, right? She loves to make sure we have enough food and enough good food, and she always cooks it. And always make sure we have extra food to take back home with us every time we come back home.
What were your parents' jobs?
Well, they actually first started working when they were little kids, because that's what Italy was like when they were little. So Nana's first job, my mom's first job, she had to watch sheep when she was a little girl. She was watching sheep. And I'll tell you something, even her parents were not that happy that she wanted to go to school because they wanted her to watch sheep. Really. But they agreed that she could go to school, and so finally she did. So she did that, and then after she came to America, she started working in a bunch of different places, but most of the time she worked in factories. The factory that she worked at, the last one, made fabric, like fabric that they use to make stretchy fabric, like that they use that skiers wear and things like that. She worked in a fabric in a factory that made that kind of fabric. And my dad, your no-no, his first job, I think he was 13, and he worked for the electric company in Italy. And he helped put up the electric poles and electric wires so that the houses could have electricity. Because where they lived, well, it was quite a poor place. That's why they came to America. So when he was a teenager, that's when they first kind of started putting some of the electric wires up. After he came to America, he also worked in a factory. And he worked for the same factory for a very long time, like 40 years. And they made airplane parts.
Were your parents strict?
Were they strict? Yeah, especially my dad. He was pretty strict. He didn't let us wear makeup. He was very careful about who we had as friends and things like that. So I think he's much more strict with us than you already wear nail polish, right? I don't think he'd let us do that.
What chores did you have growing up?
What chores? I would help my mom with some stuff on the weekends. I like to wash the windows with the Windex, right, to keep the windows nice and clean. I like to do that. I didn't do much cooking because she would do most of the cooking. I would polish the furniture with the furniture polish. Sometimes I would vacuum. So those are the kind of chores I did.
Did you make bread?
My mom made bread, you know that, and sometimes I would help her.
No, the bread that you toast.
Oh, did I make toast? Yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
Did you have any pets?
My mom and dad did not really want us to have any pets like dogs and cats, but I think once we got a fish. I think his name was Sunset.
Yeah. What kind of fish was he?
It was a goldfish.
That makes sense. A sunset goldfish. What did you want to be when you were little?
I think when I was small, I wanted to write books. Because when I was in 4th grade, I wrote a story. I wrote a book. It was some kind of competition, and I won. And I was so excited, and I wanted to write stories forever. But then I kind of decided not to do that. Once I got to high school, I really liked science, and I decided maybe I could do something more with science, maybe be a scientist or something.